Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing good. So in today's lecture, I will teach you about eclipse and artificial satellites. Now first of all, what is eclipse? Before we start with eclipse, you all know in my previous lecture I have already taught you that Earth, it is revolving on its own axis and along with it, it is moving around the sun, right, in its fixed orbit. That is known as revolution. So Earth is revolving around the sun. Along with that, moon, it is revolving around the Earth. Now, but there can be some cases when Earth, sun and moon, they can come in a straight line. So when this happens, then shadow of one object falls on the another object, due to which part of the part of one object is hidden. That now Earth and moon, both of these are type of opaque objects. Opaque objects are the objects which do not allow light to pass through them, means which blocks the rays of light if they will come. For example, my hand, if a rays of light will fall on this, it doesn't allow light to pass through it, right? We cannot see, or in other words, if light is will only not pass through them, then all the type of objects which from which we cannot see what is there on the another side, those are type of opaque objects. They do not allow light to pass through them. Those are known as opaque objects. Now Earth and moon, both of these are type of opaque objects. They do not have their own light. They reflect the light which fall from on them from sun, or in other words I can say that they are getting the sunlight, that only they are reflecting, due to that only they are visible. Now when Earth, moon and sun, they comes in a straight line and shadow of one object falls on the another object, one part of that object is not visible. That is known as eclipse. We have two different types of eclipses. First one is lunar eclipse and second one is solar eclipse. Now first of all, lunar eclipse. What is lunar eclipse? Lunar eclipse, it happens when Earth comes in between sun and moon. When Earth comes between sun and moon, then lunar eclipse occur. Now, in actual, when Earth comes between sun and moon, then the shadow of Earth falls on the moon. So, in that case, moon, it is completely hidden. It will not be visible. This is known as lunar eclipse. Now we have further lunar eclipses of two types on the basis of the position, or we can say on the basis of that how much part will get the how much shadow will it get, whether it will be completely or just part of it will not be visible. So we have two types of lunar eclipse: total lunar eclipse and partial lunar eclipse. Total lunar eclipse is when sun, earth and moon, they are in one straight line and earth is in the center of sun and moon. Then the shadow of the earth, it completely fall on the moon. So it is completely hidden in this. That is known as total lunar eclipse. Partial lunar eclipse is when moon is on these two positions and just a part of the shadow will fall on the moon, not complete, not very dark shadow. A light shadow falls on the moon. That in that case, it is partial lunar eclipse. Now we have two things, umbra and penumbra. Umbra is when dark shadow falls, that is known as umbra, and penumbra is when very light shadow falls, that is penumbra. So in case of umbra, there is always total eclipse, and in case of penumbra, there is partial eclipse. Second eclipse is solar eclipse. Now what is solar eclipse? Solar eclipse is when moon comes in between sun and the earth. That is known as solar eclipse. When moon comes in between, so the shadow of moon will fall on the earth and the part of the earth is not visible. That is known as solar eclipse. Now solar eclipse is further of two types: total solar eclipse and partial solar eclipse. Total solar eclipse is when a dark shadow of moon falls on the earth and it's very dark, it's not at all visible. sun is not at all visible from the earth. That is known as total solar eclipse. And partial solar eclipses, when just when it is on this side, this and this, when it is completely not visible, sorry, when just a partial shadow will fall, just a part, very light shadow of moon falls on the earth and just a part of the sun is not visible, that is known as partial solar eclipse. And solar eclipse, it is just for few minutes, for a very short time. Now again you can see this area where if moon is in this position and earth is here, then a very dark shadow of moon will fall on the earth, so that is umbra. So in this case total solar eclipse will occur, and if it is on this portion or this portion, at that time you can see this and this, a very light shadow, that is penumbra, will fall on the earth, that is partial solar eclipse. Now next one is satellite. I already explained that satellites are the objects which revolve around the planets. Now there are two types of satellites, natural satellite and artificial satellite. Natural satellite, which are not made by human beings, they already exist. Those are known as natural satellites. For example, moon and different planets, they have different number of moons. Now another one is artificial satellite. Artificial satellites are the one which are not made by us, which are made by human beings. Those are known as artificial satellites. And all these, okay, everyone, there are different. For example, Sputnik 1, it was the first artificial satellites which was sent into the space. These satellites are sent to gather the information, even for weather forecasting, for news broadcasting, for these things also we use them, and to gather the information, to take the pictures into the space. For these purpose, these are being sent. Okay everyone, this was all about this chapter.